15 years ago, the Queen granted city status to 4 towns in the United Kingdom. Wolverhampton was one of them. Now counted as the 12th largest city in the United Kingdom, Wolverhampton has changed a lot in the last 15 years. I wanted to find out if those changes were positive or negative.
Wolverhampton, like most cities, is comprised of the good and the bad. The beautiful parks that surround the city, the traditional businesses that continue to thrive, the schools, the churches. There's lots here to be proud of. And yet there are flaws.
I was at university when it became a city. I was at the Polytechnic when it became a university, which was nice at the time. I thought, great, you know, good things are going to happen to Wolverhampton. I'm afraid I think it's gone downhill. You know, you only have to look around and see the poverty and shops closing down. It's gone really downhill.
I would say there's a lot of derelict shops at the moment, seem to be unoccupied. So places like Merry Hill, you do have a lot of shoppers on a Sunday, but it seems to just be very quiet in Wolverhampton. It's always been rather quiet, but I know that they did introduce parking charges on a Sunday recently, and I think that may have affected it. If you look, a lot of charity shops seem to be springing up in these empty shops, so it sort of shows that there just isn't as much interest, or there isn't as much independent entrepreneurship coming through. It doesn't seem that anyway. It's a shame. And also, some of the ones that you do see, you can see they're empty a lot of the time, and it's sort of a matter of time until they do close down themselves. It's sad, it's a shame. And I've been here on a Sunday before, and it is pretty much like a ghost town.
Let's face it, we all know what's wrong with Wolverhampton. Too many traffic lights. Car parks charging excessive amounts. Lack of support for small local businesses. Too many charity shops. Excessive littering, chewing gum all over the floor. Library closures. And an indoor and outdoor market that aren't getting the support that they really need.
Are these what we expect to see in a city in 2015?
Despite grumbling complaints in the comment section of the Express and Star, the people that live here love it as it is. That's not to say that they're blind to its faults, more that they're aware of them and willing to make them work.
With the Jaguar and Land Rover coming in, especially the big companies, that'll definitely create a lot more jobs, sort of thing, which I think is definitely a positive. So maybe the bigger industrial companies can go on the way up, whereas smaller business owners still need the support to keep them afloat.
Yeah, all them big companies are coming in, and it's like changing like everything around us. So like all the cars and everything, more cars are being available to everybody.
Wolverhampton's evolving, and it's getting much better than it was.
Does it feel like a city?
Yeah.
Not a town anymore, it's a city.
Proper city.
You've got more mainstream shops, you've got more opening shop stores coming more from Birmingham, Merry Hill, what we haven't got. More people are coming attracting to us as well, and transport and everything's on time, it's on regular, so it's a good point to like get off and just have a good day really if you want like.
So those are the thoughts of the average Wolfrunian, but I wanted a more official response. This then is Councillor Mike Heap, the current Mayor of Wolverhampton and long-time resident of the city.
In many ways it's improved since 2001. But since then, the first thing that happened is the prestige of the place went up. We, as a city, and being the 12th largest city in England, we attract now more people from within the UK and particularly from abroad. Our prestige has increased enormously since we were declared a Millennium City.
And what do you think are the main problem areas facing the city?
One of the problems, there are a few problems. There is still quite a bit of poverty in the city. In my ward, I see it. And it's quite often people who are just above benefit level, where they're determined to work, but their income is just above benefit level. And in many cases, they would be better off not working. That's a sad reflection on the state of things at the moment. And there are sort of food kitchens opened round and about the city. That's not good. there's that, there's the closure of the shops. Every time you come into Wolverhampton, if you go into the Mander Centre or around there, my wife will say, "Oh, good Lord, look, there's another shop closed." And I think that's the general experience.
Finally, I spoke to Sir Hale Ranner, the chairman of the Wolverhampton Civic and Historical Society. He was one of the loudest voices promoting the elevation of Wolverhampton to city status, and I wanted to find out why he thought it was important and how he thinks Wolverhampton's future looks.
Well, the first thing I'd like to say basically is the fact that just because a town has city status doesn't mean it's going to help the city to improve, the town to improve. But what I do think it does is that it instills a sense of civic pride within the citizens. I think it gives everybody a boost and it makes people feel better about themselves. Having said that, what I feel has been one of the biggest improvements for the city is the fact that we're now taken more seriously both nationally and internationally. So when we have these surveys carried out by many organisations about towns and cities across the country, Wolverhampton now isn't ignored, and you get lots of information coming through about negative aspects of Wolverhampton, positive aspects of Wolverhampton. So with the negative aspects, the council can do something about it. We can look at ways of trying to put it right in terms of unemployment and other factors which are negative factors. With the positive factors, for example, we can promote those. For example, not so long ago, a survey found that we were the most charitable city in the whole country. There was more money given by Wolverhamptonians per person than anywhere else. So I think these are the kind of things that we need to promote about Wolverhampton. And I think many times there have been surveys which surprised people, because Wolverhampton is a place of surprises. But generally I think it's helped the city, and I think we've also had some great developments within the city. We've got the interchange that's happening at the moment, and I think it's sort of given a whole place a big boost. I think that's the main way it's improved. I think the main problems are the problems you have in all big cities, unemployment, and I think we are sort of high on that list when it comes to surveys. And I think the other one is education. I think our education achievement within the city is very low. We have to find ways of improving that amongst primary school children mainly, and also adults. I think it's a sad state of affairs in terms of education, but I think if we can sort that out, I think it'll help the city. I like the people here. I like what we've achieved. I like the fact that we're one of the biggest cities in the country. We've got a great football team. We've got a great sporting tradition. We've got a history, industrial heritage of producing the sunbeam, and we carry on doing that. That we were the first place in the world which had the first nuclear engine, and that started the Industrial Revolution, I feel. And I think there's so much going for the city. I think it's such a great place to live, and it's a great place in the fact that it's got on the east side you've got the Black Country and industrial area, and then on the west side you've got the beautiful Tetnall and Penn areas, and it's a wonderful city to live in. That's what I like about Wolverhampton. I think we've been going for 1,000 years, and I think God willing we'll go for 1,000 more. So I think everybody's optimism of Wolverhampton. We've been going on for so long. Everybody feels pride in their city. And the fact that we have the largest number of blue plaques outside London, it sort of shows you exactly how much pride Wolverhampton people have within their city and about famous people that come from the city. So I think yes, the future's bright for Wolverhampton, and we'll carry on. As our motto says, out of darkness cometh light.
Overall, there's a sense of optimism about the future of Wolverhampton. It appears to have only benefited from being granted city status. Only time will tell if the promised improvements materialise and whether or not the quality of life will go up or down for the average Wolfrunian. I'm Carl Hughes, reporting from Wolverhampton.